Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Renee at Home, Vlogmas edition. Thank you for joining me. Before we get started, please go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps my channel because it shows YouTube that my video is worth being shown to other people. Right now, let's get into the next video. Real quickly, I just wanted to take a moment to say that the intro and outro that you're going to see on the rest of the Vlogmas videos that are recipes are going to be the same. And I wanted to give you a heads up and let you know what was going on. It was just easier for me to do that and put the same intro at the beginning of all of the recipes. I mean, I'm saying the same thing, right? We are going to make banana bread. And there's a couple of things I wanted to show you before we got started. First of all, how ripe do your bananas need to be? Well, as far as I'm concerned, I like them very ripe. You don't want to just go to the store and buy bananas and come home and think you're going to make banana bread and it's going to have a great banana flavor. It won't. The flavor from banana bread comes from someone either adding extract, which is something I never do. Not that it's wrong, it's just not my recipe. I let my bananas get pretty ripe. I like them just like this. I might even let this go another day or two. Also, have a scrap bowl ready when you're making anything. That way you can just throw your eggshells, in this case, banana peels, or anything else. I call this a garbage or scrap bowl. I always have one ready. I took this to a women's event at church one time, and it was catered. I did not know, however, that she was going to bring some continental breakfast style things. And I had made a couple of loaves of banana bread, and she herself admitted that this recipe was better than hers. That made me feel good. This recipe is easy. You can double it, which is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to give you the ingredients for one recipe, and that is 1 loaf of bread. This recipe makes 1 loaf of bread. And of course we start with mashed bananas. So I just took all those bananas that I showed you and put them in this bowl. And I'm just using a back of a fork to mash it up. It's okay if it still has some big pieces. Now, we don't want this yet. I just wanted to get them ready. And that's something that I would suggest you do anytime you're making a recipe, is get everything ready before you actually start. I do not have my sugar here yet, but that's the only thing that I don't have. So, the first thing we are going to start out with, the recipe calls for 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt that goes in a bowl by itself. The recipe says to sift it. I never have. Just saying, you know me. By now, you know me and following a recipe. Just a suggestion. And I set that to the side. In this bowl, we are going to put 1 stick of butter. We are going to start by creaming our butter. Just 1 stick of butter is all this recipe calls for. And then we are going to add 1 cup of sugar. Okay, and then you are going to add 2 eggs. The oven's ready. One of these days, maybe I'll remember to wait and start the recipe after that's heated up. And to this, we are going to add our banana, and it was 1 cup. I haven't measured this, You know better than that. So I don't know how much is really here. I just had X amount of bananas left and I smushed them up. And they're going in this bread. I'm just going to give these a quick blend with that banana in there. And that's it. You can use buttermilk for this recipe. I do not throw away my soured milk. I actually use that in baking, and it is amazing in baked goods, whether it's cookies or cakes or sweetbreads. I've actually used sour milk in my banana bread before, and I really think it was the best banana bread I've ever made. You need 1/3 cup of milk and a teaspoon of either vinegar or lemon juice. I used lemon juice, and that's usually what I use. And it sours the milk. Have you ever heard the word clabbered? That's what us country folk call it. It sours and thickens up the milk. And you need 1/3 cup. And you are going to alternate this with the dry ingredients. So a little bit of milk, that's why you didn't see me put it all in there. A little bit of milk, little bit of dry ingredients. And I usually do it half and half. So half the dry ingredients, half the milk, the other half of the dry ingredients, and the other half of the milk. Okay, adding some more milk. Just enough mixing to get it incorporated. And then the rest of the flour. This is a great gift. I have a mini loaf pan that I can make all kinds of little loaves. I can make 8 here. I'm not using this time. I'm going to grab a spatula and scrape down the edges. And kind of get down in there and scrape the bottom as well. Hands are clean. Of course, or I wouldn't do that. All right, we're all mixed together. If you like walnuts or pecans in your nut bread, this is the time to add it. You would add 1 cup. And now we're ready for the bread pan. My oven is heated up to 350. Like I said, I doubled this recipe, but I'm only making 1 loaf of banana bread because the other half, I'm going to make some banana muffins. And I might even add some oatmeal to this and make some banana oatmeal muffins. Remember that I said this recipe called for a stick of butter? Don't throw your wax paper away that your butter comes in, because this recipe calls for you to butter the bottom of the pan. And this is the perfect amount to, see if I can show that. This is the perfect amount of butter to just butter the bottom of this pan. And if it gets up on the sides, that's fine too. Okay, this is ready for the loaf pan. This is heavy, and I know you can't see very well. This is a smaller bread pan, and that was what I wanted because I'd rather have more muffins than bread, because those I can put in the freezer and then I can take out as many as I want. This is ready for the oven, 350, and it will take 60 to 70 minutes. I did decide to make the muffins banana oatmeal muffins, so I just have about a cup of oats, and I'm just going to mix it in to the remaining batter and fill my muffin tins. And I'll let these cool and then put them in the freezer like I said, and then take them out as I want them. My muffin pan is greased on the bottom just like my loaf pan. I went and got my big I went and got my big scoop, something like that. And I'm just going to fill these. This one is way yonder too full. You want them about 2/3 full. I'm going to pop these in the oven with that loaf of banana bread. And these are going to cook in less time than it takes the bread to cook, but I'll just keep an eye on them. They're still going to take quite a while because they're pretty dense. And I'm going to check according to this one because that's the one that has the most in it. So I'll let you know how long it takes for the banana oat muffins to cook. So this wraps up another day of Vlogmas. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell and be sure and click on all so you'll get all the notifications when I upload new videos. Until the next time, God bless.